Yeah, welcome back to my class. Today we are going to look at operators, right? So, what are operators? Operators are special symbols, right, in your C code that tells the compiler to perform a specific action. Now, we've looked at literals, and I told you these are data coming into the program RAM. Now, before they enter the RAM, they had no form, just like energy. Now, when moved into the data types, which are the various RAMs, now they now take up forms. There you can now have operators to work on them, right? So these operators are the things that tell the compiler the specific task to perform on those data that has just come in. So example of an operator is one, we have unary operator, right? Then we have binary operators. Then we have ternary operators. Yeah, these are the three groups that we are going to classify all of them into. In this one only acts on one, is just require one operand, just one operand. Now, binary will act on two operands, so just like your what? Arithmetic operators. So here you have 2 plus 2. Now, this is a binary operator, so it requires two operands, one on this side and one on this side. Why this one requires just one? So in this case now, you can have something like this, A, or something like this, or something like this. This is for this. Why this one is binary? Then this one, ternary operator, requires 3 operands. Now in C, we have something like this. That is for this. So it requires 3 operands for a condition. If it is this, then print out this or this. You will see us use it as we go on. So that these are the groups of operators that you can actually find. So as we go on, we are now going to break them into various parts. So in this class, I'm just going to demonstrate this unary operator for you to see. Now, if I write a program like this, I say include stdio.h. By now, you should be very familiar with this. Then I say int main. I declare my main function. Then I do this. Now, inside this place, I'm going to declare a variable in the integer rem. So I'll say int mark, right? This is the variable in the integer rem. And then here I say I assign 100 to it. Then here I say int value. Let's just put it that way, in value. Then I do this. Then here I say int score. This one I say mark, right? Here I say plus plus mark. I close this, I close this. Then I will now say return printf I'll just put this here and I'll say D. I'll do this and I'll say mark. Here I'll say printf value. I'll do this, and I'll say value. And then here I will say print F score. I'll do this, and I'll say score. Then here I will say return 0. I will close this. Then I will close this. Right? Now, this is my program. So, looking at this program, what do you think this one will print out? What will this one print out? And what will this one print out? So, I want you to tell me in the comment section what your answer will be. So, I'll just wait for you to tell me the output before I write on the board. All right. Now, let's see. Looking at this, we've given this 100, right? We've declared a variable int mark. So this mark is a variable name that we declared inside the integer rem. And now we have supplied a literal to it, a literal value, 100. Now, as at when this value has not gone into the code, it has no meaning. It is when it's formless, it has no form, like energy. When it is now assigned to this mark, which is a variable in the integer rem, that is when it now takes up form as an integer. So the operator can now work on it. So now we create another variable called value, also in this integer rem. And we are saying that the value for this is what? Mark increment. Now, what does this mean? If mark is 100, we have to assign this mark to this value before we increase it. You understand? We are going to assign this value to this before we increase it. Then, in this place, we have to increase what the new value of mark is before we now assign it to score. So this one is going to print out. Now this next line will now print out the value of mark. So what will be the value of mark as at this stage? Because here we have increased mark. Here we increase mark again before we assign it to score. So printf will print out mark as what? 102. So this one will print out this 102. Printf for value will print out what was the value that was assigned to this, which is what? This one will print out 100. Then this printf will print out score, which is now the value here that was given to this score. This will print it out. So score will hold 102. If this is what you got as your own answer, then you are correct. But if you didn't get this, then you are wrong. Let me explain again. You are assigning this 100 to mark, which is a variable in the integer rem. Then you have another variable called value that you also created in the integer rem. And you are saying that mark should be assigned to this value. But you are having this operator after mark. So what will happen is that the value of mark is what will be assigned to this variable called value. Before mark will now be increased. You increase it by 1. Now, when you increase it by 1, so the new value for mark is 101. But in this score, you are now saying increase mark again by 1 before assigning it to what? To score. So mark that is now 101 will now be increased again to 102 before you now assign that value to score. You are now saying print out mark. This is coming after this action, and this action has taken place. So this function will print out this on the screen, which is what? Mark. Then it will print out mark. Then this. Now it will go to this variable, which is the memory location that has mark as the name, to print out what is inside. So what is inside this place now has increased twice. So that is what? 102. Whereas what is inside this value to print out this value as a string literal, that is value. But what is inside this value is what? Is 100, which is your initial value of mark. But what will be the inside this score? What is inside this score is after incrementing mark twice, you now assign it to score. So this and this will carry the same value, while this one will carry what? 100. So let's go to code blocks and let me demonstrate this for you to see on how this unary operator, which is this one, is acting on the variables. Okay, so this is our code blocks, right? So we are going to create a new one. So create a new project, console application, next, C. Then I will call this one unary operator, right? And then I'll say next, finish. All right, so I double click on this. I'm just going to remove this line, right? And then I am also going to remove this line so that we can type our code. So int main. Now, what I did on the board was to declare a variable. So I say int mark, right? And then I assign 100 to it. So terminate. Then I say int value. I assigned mark. Then I increment mark using the unary operator. So I did this. Then I terminated. Then I declared another variable score. And then I assign this to it. That was what I did on the screen. All right, so now I'm going to print f mark this mark. Then I did my format specifier, which is what? %d. Then go to the memory name mark and print that out. Then I terminated. So I'm just going to copy this. So I'll change this one to value. Then I'll change this one to score. Print out score. Then this one, I'll go to the memory called value to print it out. Then this one, I'll print out score. All right, so this is my code. Then I will say return 0. All right, so this is it. Now I create a value mark in the integer realm, assign 100 to it. Then I'm using this operator to increase mark, but I'm going to assign mark to value before I increment it. Then I will now increment it again before assigning it to score. Then I'm going to print out the value of mark, the value of value, and then the value of score. So I'm going to compile it and run at once. So I'll just click on build and run. So I'll click on this, and then okay, same thing again I have to do here. So I have to come here, put my escape sequence, here, so that everything will be printed out. Then this one, let me also put the escape sequence. I can leave that one like that. So I have my escape sequence so that it will come to a new line, and then print out this one. So I'm going to recompile it and execute again. So you see, mark is printing out 102. Now look at it. So you see, mark, the printf, mark is printing out 102, value is 100, then score is 102. That is exactly what I demonstrated on the board, and I've explained to you why it is like that. So that is what I want to show you in this class. Subsequently, we are now going to look at other operators, arithmetic operators, logical operators, right? We are going to look at all of them class by class. So till we see in the next class, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. Also follow me on my Facebook page. Bye-bye.